Hey guys, and welcome back to Star Control 2, and as you can see, we now have the perfect Ur-Quan, and we will be taking it to the Utwig. But not everything's going to be that easy, and of course we want to have as much dialogue with our alien races as possible, so I'm going to make you watch all of this. Well, make's a bit of a strong word, there are ways of skipping it of course, but I am going to include as much dialogue with the Utwig as possible, and beware guys, this is pretty depressing stuff.
I suppose as a courtesy I should extend an appropriate greeting. On behalf of the Utwig Proctors, I truly hope for your sake that your day has been better than ours, although this really isn't saying that much. What good would that do? I mean, why should we? We agonized for hours, wondering if it was a cruel twist of fate or simply a serious case of butterfingery. The lifetimes that have been spent in the pursuit of the elusive answer to this deceptively simple question has driven many of us down the dark road of self-destruction. Indeed, even as these words strike the ears of any who care to listen, the real question is, does it matter? I cannot say. I wallow in a quandary, unable to determine what better atones for my part of the great sin. Should I engage in slow and painful self-termination? Should I commit myself to a long life of painful self-flagellation? Should I throw myself with enthusiastic verve at the problem of collective annihilation? I do not know. Even now, my mind writhes in anguish of indecision, lest the outcome be inadequate. We know nothing of this species that you mentioned. However, while we are on the subject of evil and powerful species, we have encountered a particularly gruesome race that seemed to come from the direction of Arcturus. When we hailed them, they responded with mighty weapons that sent our delegation to their deaths. Lucky fools. The aliens' dark, crusty battleships are capable of guiding spinning mines into almost any location, and should an enemy get too close, a fiery corona emerges to inflict fearsome damage. In our skirmishes with the race who called themselves the Ur-Quan, we found that by using our own shielding capability, we could sweep through the mines, absorb the corona, and then get close enough to the dark ships to give a lick of our own. In truth, however, they are very powerful and ruthless. When the Ur-Quan started to press toward our home world, we thought that our deserved punishment was being administered. But then, a mystery? They suddenly became disinterested and veered away. Bah, confounding frustration. With the Ur-Quan, I could speak knowledgeably on this subject. To have this quality torn from our grasp emphasizes how meaningless our existence really is. This lack of meaning is what drives my species to the serious contemplation of a quick end. All right, I'll try. But you know, it really doesn't matter. After all, we have a famous Utwig saying, when one loses the reason for existence, one tends to get less motivated. This goes hand in hand with the painfully appropriate credo, we broke it so we are paying for it. Of course, this isn't really accurate. The situation is so much more hideous. Imagine, if you can, holding within your hands the answer, only to have it taunt you with its former potential. Ah, cruel irony. The loss of the Ur-Quan grieves us all. Your query once again painfully reminds me of the Ur-Quan and what it was for the universe. I could tell you all and correct all that is wrong in the universe. All I can tell you is that the Ur-Quan live to kill. Their stated purpose is to seek out new life and new civilizations and then annihilate them. We seem to qualify as such, and that is why it is puzzling that after pursuing us with some tenacity, they suddenly turned away and headed toward Craterus. All this speculation would be unnecessary if only we had saved the Ur-Quan. It would not have taken much. A diving catch, a thrown pillow, even a fuzzy wumpus would have broken the fall satisfactorily. Indeed, a panel convened to analyze the possibilities concluded there were at least 623 ways that the Ur-Quan could have been saved if we had been prepared. Let us cease our discussion concerning these matters. To say the least, our past is one of a glorious and proud people, coupled with a cataclysm that rocks the universe to its very core. It all began when the chimps rose from the murky bog, and the Utwig emerged as well. In these primitive times, we cavorted about our world, oblivious to any sort of higher purpose. We took everything at face value. Meanwhile, the tendrils of the chimp infiltrated the vast sky canopies of Faz, and then the veils fell. Suddenly the Utwig were stunned by a collective realization. All immediately and urgently donned veils of every description. Hides, leaves, shells, rocks, even living drells were donned in the early days. You see, the face is the mechanism that expresses many of the primitive qualities that hinder sentience. Now rid of constant reminders of greed, rage, hatred, and lust, the wisdom of the Utwig was no longer hampered by constant reminders of the primitive urge. Over many generations, mask etiquette was refined to a rock-solid foundation of our society. Sure, the morality riots were expensive, both in lives and infrastructure, but the result was better mask regulation. Specification from your basic mask of grueling but necessary activity to the most highly decorated countenance of stellar representation. These were clearly defined, recognizing the importance of flexibility. Clear-cut and efficient procedures for revision and redesign dealt with the few anomalies. From that moment, when we covered the source of our intellectual oppression, we knew that it was a grand purpose that defined our destiny. Are you still listening? Our entire development as a sentient species was coordinated to coincide with the appearance of a remarkable device, the Ur-Quan. We were oblivious to its tragic implications. In order for you to truly understand the situation, you need to know more about the Ur-Quan and its unique capabilities. You see, when the Druze discovered the Ur-Quan, they knew that it was ours. The Druze were compelled by intrinsic universal direction to take it to where it has always belonged. They brought it to us. Oh, the Ur-Quan. It assured total and complete meaning of life for all, the universal. With the Ur-Quan in hand, I could sense not only your motivations and desires, but your purpose. I could act upon these things in ways that would most likely seem mysterious, if not, well, daft. Years later, you would herald our participation in your development as the turning point for your species. The Druge were only one of the few to benefit in this way. Even now, they are puzzled by the way we rewarded them for the delivery of the Ur-Quan to its correct place. In 24 years, 2 months, and 3 days, they will all dance the dance of jubilation. Indeed, the Ur-Quan has allowed us to fundamentally change the Druge forever. The Supocs, too, received many benefits from our use of the Ur-Quan. They can testify to its power. Bah! It doesn't matter. Besides being of no concern to you, I find discussion of this matter, well, distasteful. The Ur-Quan was not the only thing which assures total and complete meaning of life for you and I. It is universal. I'm sure that you too are aware of this thing, if only in legend. It granted us all limitless power and knowledge. It has been since, well, rendered inoperative. Yes, things were perfect. What happened is, well, it's difficult to talk about. But I saw it happen. I witnessed the Chinzral celebration. I felt the Ur-Quan fill the empty place that I did not know was there. I saw the Grand Proctor pass it to, well, they say that the Chief Gru did not know that it was so heavy and slippery. Perhaps it was a combination of factors. Some who have reviewed the records claim it was actually a conspiracy. The Commission investigation officially stated that the Ur-Quan was rendered inoperative by the fall to the ground. Yet many feel that the whole story has not yet been told. As it struck the ground, I saw its glow fade. And then the painful void incapacitated all. All Utwig immediately donned the mask of ultimate embarrassment and shame, with a vow to wear it forever. Bonfires all over Foz consumed all but this mask. No other mask was spared. The visage of ceremonial orations, in all of its contexts and revisions, as I'm sure you understand, all of the courting masks from the clever and intriguing veil of flirtatious prancing to the infamous lewd monocle, all consumed by the hungry flames. Even the most fundamental fixtures were committed to this irreversible fate. The mask of natural bodily excretions once hung in every lavatory. Most of the public facilities have removed the disposable mask dispensers, but every once in a while I still see such a repository, always empty. At that time, many suggested that we use the precursor relic as a form of self-punishment. The proposal was that we collectively go to the second moon of the sixth planet of Zeta Hyades at coordinates 850.3 by 937.2 and use the ancient planeteering device to end our existence. After much discussion, we decided that we deserved to suffer. We can use the bomb if we ever decide the time is right. In the meantime, we atone for our grievous mistake with our collective misery. I suddenly sink into a chasm of depression. I must go. You are kind. If we could wield the Ur-Quan to resurrect your splib, we would. But I suddenly am overcome with waves of depression. I must retire now to perform rituals of anguish. Waves of trauma wash across my being even now. I must go.
Holy crap, these guys have got fringes 6 foot long! Anyway, time to cheer them up a bit.
Just go away. Leave us to ponder our grief. Yeah, should I set my gaze upon such a sight, I might suffer sleepless nights for years on end. It is a symbol of the collective Utwig failure. It is our ultimate tragedy. Ah, every divot, every crack on its surface is etched forever in my soul. Remove it from my sight, lest I purge my... Hey! That is not the devastated Ur-Quan. It is the image of the Ur-Quan before. A trick? A trick? Oh! I had no idea that any species could sink so low. How dare you try to manipulate me with that cheap stage prop? Why, it's not even... Hey! Wait a second. It looks like... Can it be? Yes! It is! A miracle! Oh, happy day! Joyous occasion! You have our eternal thanks, good Captain. You will be immortalized as the blessed figure that delivered unto us our future. We will revere your very likeness. Let me take the Ur-Quan. Yes, I feel the link, the knowledge, and the power. It seems that there is much to do. Indeed, it seems that you should proceed to the second moon of the 6th planet of Zeta Hyades and take what you find there. We no longer have need for it, but the Ur-Quan reveals that you will. I thank you for your part in the grand scheme. We now recover that which is ours via destiny and proceed to perform our essential service for the universe. But wait! The Ur-Quan throbs and whistles. Matters of significance are being relayed to our brains. It has been so long since we communicated with the ultimate in such a manner, but slowly the truth is revealed. Our destiny. We have been directed to join with our Supak's allies and attack you! No, wait, that's wrong. Sorry. We attack your enemies, the Ur-Quan and the Ur-Quan. No, that's not right either. What? Oh, okay. We must strike only the black ships, only the Ur-Quan. Now, Captain, we must leave to prepare our battle fleets. Wish us luck.
And while they're off fighting the Ur-Quan, I'll claim the super bomb. See you next time, guys.